Let's see how we can record a mobile test. The first thing that we need to do is we need to go to the Drive section. Here we will upload the mobile app, which can be in an APK format for Android or an IPA format for iOS. So I'm uploading the Endomondo running walking APK file. After the file was uploaded, you get this file download URL, which you will copy. And now we go back to the mobile test section and we click on this record mobile test button. So we select the grid provider, the platform, the mobile device. Here we can either paste the link to the uploaded APK file, or we can just start typing in this input and we'll get options from the Drive section. And when I click on start, the mobile app will be sent to the grid provider and the recording process will start. The mobile app has been installed on the device and now we get a live preview here and we get the first logs. Now notice in the preview that each element gets highlighted with a red background when you hover on top of it, and each element also has a red border. Now these are added on our side. We do not modify your mobile app. These are just added in this recording section in order to help you see the elements better. Now let's say I want to tap on this button. So what I need to do is I click on it, I select the single tap action, and now this action is added to the list, but it's not executed yet. So here you can review that step. You can see the name of the step, the action, and the locator, which in this case is an ID. And now I can execute that step. And now we can see the app move to the next section. So notice that each element is precisely identified by our mobile recorder, no matter how small or complex. Let's start writing text in these inputs one by one. So the email, I'll just write a random email here. The password. The name, and I'll also tap on this mail checkbox. Notice that we now have 4 extra steps and each step has a step name, the action, the locator, and in this situation the text that we're writing. So let's execute the steps. Notice that the last 4 steps are automatically selected, so the mobile recorder will select the steps that have not been executed yet. Okay, we can see the text was written in those inputs. Let's tap on date of birth. In this section, I could change the default birthday, but I'll just leave it like that and tap on the check button. Let's also change the country. So single tap on that drop down. And now I could select a country from the first options in the list. I could scroll down, but I can also write an option here. So I will write one here. I'll tap on the magnifying glass. We can see the step here, and now we'll execute it. Okay, let's write here France. Add step. We can see it here at the end. Run that step. Okay, we now see France in the drop down, so let's tap on it. Step was added here. Let's run it. Okay, now we're back to this section and notice an interesting situation. The keyboard is covering the sign up button. So when you encounter a situation like that, there's a special action for that called hide keyboard. So we just add a step like that and we execute it. Okay, notice the keyboard is no longer there, so we can tap on the sign up button. Notice that since the sign up button does not have an ID, it will show us the XPath that it's using. So let's run that as well. You can see the sign up process was successful. Now, during the execution, you can see all the logs that were generated. So you can see these in real time. And what's interesting is that uh, when you execute a batch of steps, you also get this element inspector file. If you look at it, you can see that it's an HTML file and you can inspect all the elements from your native mobile app. So for example, if I tap on this input, I will see all of the locators such as the coordinates, the class name, the ID, even the XPath, and I will also see all of the attributes. So it's a really good way to inspect your elements and see what attributes or locators you can use, or even to debug. And you have this for all the okay. Now I will stop the recording and I will save this test in my account. So I'll create a new test suite. Let's call this Endomondo, like the name of the mobile app, and the new test case, sign up. I can also save in an existing test suite or in an existing test case and so on. And now you can see the test here. So it's saved, it's in the cloud. I can access it whenever I want. And you have the test suite, inside you have the test case, and here you have the steps. So notice each step has a human readable step name and the parameters that it's using. So we recorded a total of 13 steps. Now you can easily modify this recorded test. For example, here we enter the hard-coded email address, and because it's a sign up, it might not be the best idea to use the same email each and every time. So here's what we can do. We can add the step below here and call it generate a random email. Again, this is just a step name, so you can write whatever you want here. And we'll use the action set variable. We're creating a new variable called email. And we'll use this method called a random email. So this will generate a random email address and it will store it in this variable. Now, I don't want my email to be completely random, so I can provide a domain, for example, endtestmail.io. So here, instead of using this hard-coded email address, I can just use that email variable. Again, if I want to hide the password, I can also use a password variable. Let's save the test. Okay, and now let's run this test. Again, we can select the grid provider, the mobile device. Since we don't use coordinates, if you record a test on one device, it means you can run it on any other device with that same operating system. The link to the APK file is already here, so let's run the test. Okay, we can see the test execution finished. Here we have the summary. We have the detailed logs with each step and a screenshot for each step. You can open that screenshot and okay. It's really easy to debug. So for example, if you're looking at this step and you're wondering, okay, where am I doing that? You can just click on the pencil icon and it will take you to that exact step. Okay, let's see this all the way till the end. Okay, we can see it finished. It even generated an element inspector file at the end. You have all the screenshots here as well. Let's play that. Okay, and that's it.